Hey guys, Coach Rye here. We are going to review today how to select your class, okay? And this is in the NPC. You know, there's a lot of different classes, true novice, novice, open, all these things that people don't understand. And this is one of the most common questions I get as a coach. So I want to cover this for you here today and just kind of lay it all out. If this is your first show, even if you have done some shows, you're a beginner, you may not understand this process. And, you know, everybody thinks of contest prep as it's dieting, it's training, it's check-ins. It's all that, but near the end, there's a lot of things you want to know, you know, as far as registration goes, what classes, how to do all these things that a lot of people just don't understand. So that's really the purpose of what we're doing here today, you guys. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for everything contest prep. We talk about a ton of divisions, hacks, tools, tips, things that are going to help you do better, no matter where you are as a competitor. All right, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and at any point in time, hit that thumbs up. It helps me out, you guys. I appreciate it if you can. Let's talk a little bit now about the classes, okay? So this is relevant for any division, okay? Our divisions being, bikini, wellness, figure, classic physique, men's physique, bodybuilding, all these divisions, I'm not talking about those specifically, but within each division, you have a class, okay? And so this is something you'll see when you go to register. You got to pick, your class for your show and what you're doing and what it is, and there's a bunch of different options. So let's dive into those. First option is true novice, okay? And a lot of people don't understand what this means. Like, what's true novice? I don't get it. True novice is if it's your very first competition, period, okay? So if you have never competed, you're a total beginner, true novice is the category you can do. And what this means is that you're going to go against other people that this is their first show too. So this is the only division where that is the unique rule, and they do check this, so don't try to cheat the system. If you already competed, you're not doing true novice. But if you're a first timer and you really want to get in there and, maybe you're just trying to get your feet wet, get the experience, first time on stage, you're going against only other first timers, and that's a really unique opportunity since it's the only time you can do it is at that first show. So definitely something to consider. If this is your first show, you're a beginner, check out true novice as maybe something to register for. Our next one is novice, okay? This is the true, now it's just novice. And this is actually for anybody who has not placed at a competition, okay? So you could have done shows prior to going into novice, but if you didn't place, you didn't get top 5, then now you are technically still eligible to do novice, okay? And a lot of people do novice, and pretty much that's due to the fact that a lot of people don't place their first show sometimes. If you go out and show yourself, or you don't have a very good coach, or your prep just didn't go right, whatever, you're gonna maybe not land yourself a placing at your first event, which then, you could go to novice now, and that area, again, it's a beginner category. If you have ever placed, you're not supposed to be doing novice, okay? So good to note there. Now, then we have our open category. Open is generally the most populated categories at shows after novice. A lot of people do these novices because they're beginners or true novices, whatever. And then open is where pretty much everybody focuses on, because open is the only class where if you place, top 2, as the rules currently sit now at the time of filming this video, you get to then be qualified to go to nationals. And we'll talk more about that in a second, but let's just talk about this open class. So open is literally for anybody, anywhere. Okay, so it could be somebody that's done, novice, they've done 10 shows, this is their first show, they can do open, whatever. It could be somebody that did nationals, came back, wants to qualify again. It's the most competitive class by far because this is the open category. And let's also talk about the fact for 2 seconds that these all go by height class. Everything else, it's all individual. You're not competing against every single person. There's going to be open A, open B, open C, open D. This is why when you look at these registrations, it can be a little confusing, to know that thing. But they're going to check your height and everything at your check-ins when you go, put you where you belong. But the point is, you want to understand what these are: true novice, novice, open. Okay, so open's for everybody. And again, this is the category where if you place top 2, you're going to be eligible to go to nationals. Nationals is the only place where you can win a pro card, okay? It's really the only, there's some shows outside of that, like Amateur Olympia, Amateur Arnold, stuff like that, where if you win the overall, you can get a pro card. There's other events that are like that too, but realistically, nationals is the place to get a pro card. So if you want to get qualified for nationals, you have to place top 2 to be able to do that in the open class, okay? So important to know that if your goal is to continue down this path and try to get an IFBB pro card, you're going to want to be competing in that open and figure out how to get yourself at least into that top 2 placing to be able to do that, okay? Next, we talk about masters. Now, there's a variety of masters categories too, and these are by age group only, okay? So there's 35, there's 40, 45, you know, some shows go 50, 55 and beyond, okay? And there's just a lot of categories, and these are all done by age, okay? So realistically, to be able to compete in these, you have to at least be that age. So if it's a Masters 35, you have to be at least 35 to be eligible to compete there. And if you want to, you know, you can actually go down the chain too. So let's say your competitor is 50 or something like that. I got a lot of bikini competitors that are in their 50s competing, and they're doing, you know, the Masters category. They can do any of the Masters below them as well as their age group, okay? But only people that are your age can do your specific group. So that's another cool spot. A lot of people like doing Masters. You know, it's a great place for a lot of people to excel, and you can get qualified there to do some, you know, other events too, Masters Nationals, things like that. So another really cool spot to really consider competing. Now, you might say, all right, I'm going into the show, so you've just explained all these to me. We talked about True Novice, the Open, the Masters. Which should I be doing? Which can I be doing? Okay? And here's what I always tell competitors, you guys. As you know, on Team Flex, we have tons and tons of great athletes. You know, people winning shows every single weekend, doing awesome, going to nationals, pro cards, IFBB pros and beyond. We got going on Team Flex, and what I always tell everybody, no matter what, is to do as many classes as you feasibly can, okay? And there's a few things you need to consider when you're trying to figure that out. First, what are you qualified for, right? Like, you can't do True Novice, obviously, if you've already been on stage, but you could do maybe, you know, Open, blah, 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 Masters with that or something. And then also you want to consider, too, the financial aspect, okay? As you register for each class, you have to pay a separate entry fee there, too, okay, for the show. So you want to make sure, you know, obviously, if a thing is a finance thing where you want to spend a certain amount on the show, then you might pick less classes versus more, whereas maybe you want to go and just do as many as you can. And the reason I always say do as many as you can, considering what you're qualified for as well as what you want to, you know, finance basically, is because it gets you more time on stage, okay? And that means that you go out on stage, you do your routine, you get comparisons, you get to do this for these classes, all the ones you sign up for. So that's a really cool thing, because what it does is it allows the judges more time to see you, so you're gonna be able to get better feedback from the judges, you know, more direction on where you need to head next to improve, to get better, to place better, to go further, and also you're gonna gain a lot more experience, okay? Sometimes people go to the show and they only do one class, they're on stage, you know, NPC, it's very short posing routine individual. It's going to be 10 to 15 seconds most events. So you're going to go out there, do 10 to 15 seconds. You're going to be in your call outs. You know, you might spend a couple minutes on stage by the end of the day. And, you know, that's a short amount of time to really have been on stage for doing, you know, a length of a prep and working so hard and posing and practicing. So, you know, sometimes competitors, if they do less classes, they feel like, in a sense, that they, you know, they didn't live up to the moment enough, in the sense, right? So doing more classes can give you more time on stage. It can give, you know, more opportunity for the judges to see you. It gives you more experience as a competitor, which will make you better as a competitor. It'll give you more experience on stage. Most competitors that compete for the first time, or even, you know, as beginners, they're very nervous, okay? I say there's usually like a 4 to 6 show rule before people really get their ground, and they're not getting the shakes and they're not getting the nerves before they get out there. You know, some people aren't that way, but most people, they need the time, and this is a way to really shortcut that. So instead of getting 1 minute at, you know, 6 different events or something like that, you could spend, you know, getting 1 minute a couple times at the same show, and you're going to be able to shortcut that process. So it's a really cool way to gain a lot of experience. And if you got friends, you got family, you're getting stage shots, right? They're going to get a lot more of those too of you. That's going to give more opportunity for everybody to see you more, your friends, your family see you, cheer for you, have a great experience with you, and you're also going to have better pictures of the moment, because you're probably going to get more if you're in more classes. So it's simple enough to say that realistically, do as many as you can. That's what I tell everybody to do. All right, do as many as you can to get better at everything if you do that. Now, if you only have a certain amount that you can focus on, what you really want to consider is your long-term goal. So let's say you're the person that can't just load up everyone they're qualified for. You don't want to spend that money. money on it, or it's just not, you don't want to spend that much time on stage, whatever it is. What you do want to consider then in that case is which one is going to lead to your end term goal. So if you want to be an IFBB pro, for example, right, your goal is to go to nationals and compete at nationals. You're going to want to do open then, if at the very least, right? Like, you're going to want to do open because it's the only class where if you place top 2, you're then qualified to go to nationals. So if you went to the show and you did just novice, right, and you're like, whatever, I don't really want to go to I want to go to nationals, but I'm in novice. Even if you do great novice, you win that class, you're still not qualified. So you'd have to go do another class then at that point, another show, in other words, where you do an open class, get that top 2, and then go to stage there. So all things to consider, all things to factor in. Everybody competes for different reasons. What you got to figure out is what's the reason you're competing. What do you want to do? Are you trying to, is this your first show and you just want to get your feet wet, get on stage, have a fun time? You're not too worried about, you know, where your placings are. Are you aiming to win this show? Are you aiming to qualify to go to nationals, to get a pro card, blah, blah, blah. So realistically, these are the options you have for the classes, you guys. And you want to make sure that you have all this. Again, it's pretty dense video. I don't know what we're at minutes wise right now, but it's probably, you know, been 10-15 minutes by now where we're talking about just classes, and the amount of competitors I've coached over the years that don't understand this is kind of crazy. So, you know, this is a value add video to give you guys, to hopefully help you get a better insight into where you should sign up. And it's just one of the reasons that you should make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this is tons of great content we do over here, a lot of contest prep stuff. And if you like this video, you got anything out of it, there's a lot more coming, so make sure you subscribe. And then also, you guys, we do coaching. We coach competitors. We have a free trial, free opportunity for you to try this experience with me or any of my coaches. We'll guide you through stuff. We'll let you know. I don't want to go too deep into all that in the video. Don't want to waste your time, but you can check it out on my website, teamfflex.com, where you can learn more about that. It's a free experience. And, you know, if you got anything out of this, you're going to get a lot more out of that. So make sure to look into that, you guys. Links down below for that free trial, you guys. And thank you for watching. If you got anything out of it, make sure you subscribe, please. The amount of people watching this that aren't subscribed make me want to cry. Thank you, guys. Coach Rye is out.